because I was a student of the president. So, but before that, in August, that was November of '63, August '63, I'm standing on the mall in Washington, D.C., the March on Washington. Now, let me tell you a little story about this, and then I'll wrap it up a little bit. About 6 years ago, right here at Dr. King's grave, I was with Coretta and Janetta Cole, who was president of Spelman. And Janetta told me something, Coretta, Mrs. King, told me something that I didn't know. The night before the March on Washington, Bayard Rustin, who had put the march together, they were all in a room, and they had taken a vote that Dorothy Height, Juanita Abernathy, who was Abe's wife, and Coretta would not be with Martin and the rest of the people because it would be too dangerous. We had never been that open like in Washington, D.C. in '63. Now, I was just a foot soldier, and that was my senior year in college. And so Bayard Rustin came into Martin's room and said, "You have 8 minutes to speak tomorrow. John Lewis will speak for the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee. Different ones will speak in the labor movement. The National Council of Negro Women would be Dorothy Height." And they had them all lined up. And so Martin, Cardinal Coretta, started working on his speech at about 7 that evening. He worked on that speech. At midnight, she went to bed. Martin was refining it, getting it down. Now, see, a lot of people don't know, if you sit in a room like this, he was one funny guy. He was funny. But you remember, he was only, when he finished college, he was one of the first people. He finished college with a PhD and all that at 26 years old. Systematic theology. Finished Morehouse when he was 16, right here in it. And his president and his mentor was a guy named Benjamin Mays. And for the last 22 years, I've pastored the church, which was Dr. Mays, where King grew up here in Atlanta. It was just happenstance. And Coretta said he wrote. She woke up at 6 o'clock and paper was all over the floor, where he had gotten it down to 8 minutes. Bayard Rustin knocked on the door, came in and said, "We're going to be going over to the mall." This is August the 23rd, 1963, on over to the mall. Andy was already down the hall. Jesse was already out on the mall. Some of them were looking. And so they were getting reports back. They said there are only about 10,000 people there. And Martin really dropped 10,000 people at 11 o'clock, 12,000. So they came in, and so Coretta was telling the story. She said he was really down. He said all of these times, from 55, now here it is 63, and this is what it comes to. And J. Edgar Hoover was sending all kind of things out on him, and he'd just been in a lot of stuff up in Harlem. So he was really down. And when you do this kind of work, you get down. You get depressed. You get angry. But God gives you the resilience to continue to fight on. But more importantly now, I'm not fighting on, I'm developing fighters. Mine now is to do what you're doing, is to try to work with some young people and give them the options, and what are the options that they have now and the options that they choose. What will it make a difference? I don't try to browbeat them with the cross, but I try to browbeat them with justice and integrity and honesty and what it means for all of God's children. When you stand boldly, when you're just one light in a stadium, they will see you. And you cast out the darkness just in your spot. It might not light up the whole stadium, but you're not called to light up the whole stadium. Go ye into all the world preaching, teaching in the name of, and you stand boldly on that. So that's what we try to do now.